All right. Once again, we are back live in the man cave. It is 7:30 on a Sunday evening. So we Polk Hoops here to talk a little Polk County basketball. So without further ado, let's get started. Appreciate you all taking the time to rock with us this evening. Want to start by introducing or welcome, saying what's up to the All-State PG and the All-State coach. What's going on with y'all fellas?
What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday to you.
Man, happy Sunday, fellas. On this road, trying to get back. So,
Yeah, man. So we know you're gonna be limited, PG. So you do what you can, and we just appreciate you tapping in. So I'm assuming you don't have a too much take because you had a pretty busy weekend. So I'm gonna kind of slide to the coach. Coach, I know you just started. Yeah, what year is this? Like 40? My bad, coach. I just logged that one, but it's been a minute. So you started another year. Let's say it that way. You started another year, coach. So I don't know
Started
how
another
much
year, coach.
coach is
I've
told
been
on that.
I've been coaching high school ball since 2005, but I actually started coaching. Coach Hayes got me coaching since I was like 18 years old. So I've been putting in some work
Yeah, coach.
for
You're
a
a vet.
minute.
You're a vet now. That's why I went off.
No,
I
no, no.
went,
You
went too
won
far.
now.
I was playing, but I knew it was a little truth to that somewhere in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have one thought for you guys, and y'all let me know. Can championships be won or lost about how much work you put in during the spring and summer?
Definitely.
I definitely think that if you don't put no work in during the spring or summer, you don't prepare yourself for what what comes at the end of tournament play. But most coaches or good coaches will have you well scouted. The gel of the team being together as one, players understanding their roles and not, what I'm saying, just getting out there. And, most teams that are very talented that get out there late, everyone's going to make the excuse to try to blame that as favoritism most of the time, with probably the good player or the player that has ultimately somebody, a family or something like that around, or feel like there's favoritism with the coach to me. So I definitely think you need to gel. You need to.
Yeah, I actually think that is when you win your championships in the spring and the summer. Um, because and I know that in Florida we kind of different, because I'll say Polk County because we are a pretty rich football county. So we most times if you're in Polk County, you're gonna have football kids. So you're not gonna have all your kids. So the spring and the summer gives you a chance to kind of hopefully develop some of those guys that are not gonna be football guys. And that, in my thought, is kind of what pushes you from a pretender to a contender. So say if you got five guys out there playing football and you got four guys that can help that's not playing football, you got the spring and the summer to get those guys to a point where they can go from being a contributor to like, you know, important pieces to the puzzle. So if you ask me, I would say that's where it's won and lost, although it's gotten a lot harder, and you can relate to this, coach, because of travel ball and your kids. You're not really having your kids as much as you normally would because you got to let them go and play. But I do think that spring and summer is when you actually, and maybe fall a little bit, but definitely spring and summer. I think so.
I agree with you, Coach. In the spring, it's mostly like skill development anyway. So we take the approach of Monday through Thursday. We're gonna try to get the kids that skill development piece, and then on the weekend we, just release them to their travel ball stuff. But my thing is like I agree with what you said. Usually, you know who your starters are gonna be. It's who you can depend on from that 6 through 10, range. and that's a great time to get them experience, and also get a feel about what they can do in pressure situations, so you can be able to trust them. And I think that's going to be important for a few teams this year, especially Lakeland and Winter Haven. Is those kids that you can trust that are coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Or going to be key contributors to minutes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have to shorten your bench. Maybe you have a deep bench. You just don't know. But that's when um, that time you develop that trust for those kids. And I've seen teams lose their season during the summer because they just didn't do anything or they just didn't work hard during the summer. But I've also seen teams win championships over the summer by all the work they put in. So I was just curious on what y'all take was.
Yeah, I know when I was coaching, I think when I was at Jenkins was like either my last year or next last year when they first started to like do the whole where you can sign your team up on the like I guess at the time it was like U Trip.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the insurance and you can essentially play with your team. You just give them a different name and you can play like in those tournaments. And that was like a game changer. You know, for years we had been like kind of complaining that we couldn't get our kids and couldn't really compete because of all the rules. So when they kind of put that rule in place, it was like, oh man, this, we finally getting what we've been asking for. So I know, because at the time, me and McGriff, we actually kind of combined our teams at some point. We were the Lakeland Eagles, right, Coach? We combined, like I had some of McGriff guys came and played on the team because they played with the Fire, so it just kind of made sense. But I don't understand how you wouldn't with how it is now. Basketball essentially is year round now. Like you pay what $100. I don't know, it might not be $100. It was $100 then. You pay $100 for insurance. You're like insurance on your whole team, and you go play in any tournament that you want to play in. You just don't say your school name.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a no-brainer to me. So, and I'm always surprised now by how few teams take advantage of that. I know a couple that do, but I know it's a lot more that don't take advantage of it than do. And that's always been a surprise to me. How and why wouldn't you? Even if, you got kids that are locked in with football, you can develop, like you say, develop them other kids. You can develop 7 through 13.
Mm-hmm.
Be the 6 or 7 guys that you put on the road. I mean, it ain't really about wins and losses. You're just trying to get the work. At least that's always been my take. But I guess everybody don't think that way. But to answer your original question, I think that that's when you actually win or lose your championship. And then when you go ahead, Coach.
And I agree. The thing is that boys tryouts start tomorrow, right? You know what I'm saying? And that could be a difference between one kid making the team and one kid not making the team. You know what I'm saying? By getting that work in, during the spring, summer, and the fall. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's close and you put it up to the coach, you know what I'm saying? That could be a difference between a kid making the team. Because, some people, they think that they don't have to come to those. I mean, it's involuntary, but it's voluntary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And some people don't come, and then tryouts come, and they're wondering why they don't make the team. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially, most varsity coaches know who's going to be on varsity because they've been playing and practicing this whole entire time. You know what I'm saying?
I don't I don't get how you just it just to me, especially like when I did the 5 minutes with Coach Woodside, he was telling me how he spoke with you, he spoke with McGriff, he spoke with LaDon, just about the schedule, building the schedule type deal. And he talked about this when they was even thinking about the districts before it became official. He created a text group with the people that was possibly in the district, and just looking ahead to who you potentially could play way down the line. And if I see them playing and I'm not playing, I don't understand how I can feel like I'm going to be able to compete. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you beat us, okay, you beat us, but you ain't gonna beat us because you outwork us. I guess that's my thought process. So if you working and I ain't working, what do I expect that end result to be if we're not working? You know, so I just, especially if we're expecting to try to like really compete at a high level, not we just, we know it's not gonna be our years rebuilding. We just kind of, showing up. That might be something different. But if we talking about making a run, and I'm in Region 2. And I see cats in Region 3 that I'm gonna probably play down the line that's playing. Hold on, we got to figure out something. We got to get out here and play somebody. It's like they ain't gonna outwork us. They ain't gonna be in the gym or they ain't gonna be on the road. And we ain't. That was always my thought process and mindset. But things have changed, and so it's a different mindset now. But to your point, I believe that spring and summer, probably summer more than spring. Is when you pull ahead of people and you potentially can win a championship in the summer. But like you said, you can also lose it in the summer also. So, and it becomes obvious, Coach, to me, it becomes obvious to people that have been working and the people that have not. And I could be off on that. I haven't sat on the bench in a couple of years, so it could be different. But it seems to me it's obvious to the ones that's been doing it and the ones who ain't been doing it. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So to your point, why? Take off your lens of how you do it. And I know that's hard to do, but why would people not do spring and summer, especially when it's available now? Why wouldn't you do it?
I think it's all about the drive and the motivation from the coach. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about spring and summer. That's not something that you're getting paid for. You know what I'm saying? So you're not getting nothing monetary from it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's time away from your family, and things of that nature. So I just think, people think about it from that standpoint. Or they might not have the assistant help that they need in order to maintain it. You know what I'm saying? My assistance was crucial during that time. You know what I'm saying? Because, when I came through, I coached football too. So I really didn't have a break. So I made sure, especially around my birthday time, that I actually took a break. I left the program to Coach Hayes and Coach Campbell, both of the Coach Campbells, for a few days. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see how you cannot be working, but it's obvious that some people that are not, for instance, summer league, all the teams are not in the summer league. I mean, that's every year that it's certain teams that don't ever play summer league.
And that's local, Coach. That's like local. I don't get it. But you got to have, everybody has their goals. And according to your goals, like you said, I guess it is the thing about the summer, you don't get paid. But and I hate to say this, Polk County Public Schools, I'm sorry. But if we talking pay, we don't coach in Polk County for the pay.
No, not at all.
So the summer ain't gonna be that big a difference on the fall, the whatever, because Polk County coaches it's embarrassing what they're paid for the work and all the time and the effort and all of the relationships and all the stuff that they do for kids. It's laughable this is me. So I don't work for Polk County Public Schools. So this is separate from the other two co-hosts who are affiliated with PCPS. It's embarrassing what coaches are paid. So can you really blame a coach who say, you know what, I'm not doing, I already paying me, so I'm not going to do no extra stuff in the summer. It's very I apologize, y'all. It's fantasy football updates. So and the way this Apple stuff is set up, all of us connected. So but anywho, it's just, so it's not about the money, I guess is my point. So it's about what is it that you want to do to what's your purpose? So your purpose ain't to make no money, but it's just sad though. But then you can't really be mad during the season if you're not performing well, right? But then some people get mad when they're not performing well. But it's like, are you surprised that you're not performing well when you didn't do the stuff that you needed to do to ensure that you would perform well? It's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess.
Definitely.
So,
But Polk County School Board got to look at that. That hasn't been changed. So
it got to get better. So, well, but yeah, coach, you coach for the love, Frat, and that's what gets you in the door. But some people don't look at it that way, so they don't get the time that is due to get the product that you're looking for. So, all right, so we're gonna transition. We got one of our coaches, one of our new coaches. We decided to talk to a couple of new guys to the coaching brethren tonight to get their viewpoint on the other end. We talk to the vets all the time. So one is in the ManCave, the other one hasn't popped in yet. So we'll go ahead and start. I want to welcome the All Saints girls head coach. I want to make sure I say that right. Coach Cam Manning. I want to welcome you into the ManCave. Let me click in.
Hey, what's going on, coaches?
What's going on with you, coach?
Oh, I'm doing an amazing evening, an amazing weekend. How about you guys?
Hey, amazing. That's a nice word.
I know it.
Nice word.
My football team won yesterday, so I'm excited.
Who is your team?
I grew up. My dad went to Tennessee, so I've been a Tennessee fan my whole life.
Yeah, so you've been living the life, living the dream all year, huh?
I know. Don't want anybody to wake me up. Turn the alarms off. Hit the snooze button.
Hey, don't wake me. I'm dreaming. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I heard that. Well, let me get my other coach in. Another first year. Got to the head coaching. Neither one of you guys are first year coaches, but first year is head coaches. So
sure.
I want to welcome in Mudberry's boys head coach, Coach Malcolm Sanders. Welcome in, Coach.
So how y'all doing, man?
Hey, we good, man. We blessed. We privileged, highly favored, and glad you guys will give us a couple minutes of your time tonight to talk about your teams.
Man, thank y'all, man.
All right, so the way we do it, we let you go first. You guys kind of introduce yourself, anything you want us to kind of know, the people to know in advance, and then we'll start asking you all some questions. So yeah, it don't matter who goes first, but we give both of y'all a chance to speak, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Gotcha. You want to go first, Coach? Or you want me to lead it off?
You can go ahead, bro.
All right. Yeah. So I've lived in Lakeland since 2012. I've been an assistant at Santa Fe. I've been an assistant at Victory, and I've been on staff at Southeastern in the women's program there for a year. Before that, I grew up on the east coast of Florida. I went to Spruce Creek High School out there in Volusia County, and that's where I grew up playing and cut my teeth playing basketball in middle school and high school and all that. Like I said earlier, my dad went to Tennessee, so I grew up a Tennessee fan. I tell people the reason why I fell in love with coaching was Pat Summitt. There was nobody better than her, nobody bigger than her. I'll contend in basketball for doing what a coach doing what they've done and leaving the imprint that they've left in the game. I don't think anybody's bigger than Pat, and that's what I grew up with. I grew up with her teams and her stares on the sideline and the Lady Vols winning a bunch of games, and that's really what got me into coaching. I stopped playing really in high school. I'm 32 now. I really got into coaching at about the age of 13. And pretty much from 13 on to now, I've been in some form of coaching, whether it's been learning how to, in middle school and high school, learning how to be a coach and being a third assistant, a second assistant, a first assistant, a lead assistant, coaching middle school travel ball and being able to coach high school, having opportunities with scouting, having opportunities with recruiting along the way, and kind of always having my finger on the pulse in basketball. And then, as I said, I moved down here, took the JV job at Santa Fe Catholic. I was my 2 years at Santa Fe were the last 2 years that Hammerberg was there before he left Varsity Boys and stepped away. And then I coached at Victory twice with two different coaches, Coach Art being the most recent one when he was there. And then spent a year with Coach Hayes at Southeastern. His first year, spent a couple years there with him. got to learn his craft and what he does, and he's incredible. He's now the point guards coach at the University of Colorado. So he's making a big move. And then it kind of took a couple of years off. And the job opening for All Saints came up, and All Saints always been really high on my list as just a good quality school, and they have a good foundation. They have great facilities. They're looking for somebody to come in and kind of stabilize the program. I am the 7th coach in 8 years for All Saints girls basketball. So anybody that is a coach knows that coming in and stabilizing is a tough deal on its own, but coming in and stabilizing after 7 coaches have done it prior to you in 8 years, it makes it fun. And I was hired really towards the end of summer. So it's been a full sprint to try and make sure I have enough kids to play for me this year, and convincing the kids that played last year to come back and play for a 4th coach that they've never met before. And so I'm enjoying all the, getting to meet the kids and getting on the court and living life that way. It's in the fast lane right now. So, but it's awesome. It's a great opportunity I was given by the staff at All Saints, and I'm just really looking forward to it. Very excited.
Okay. Thanks for that, Coach. Coach Sanders, you're up next, sir.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm Malcolm Sanders. I'm born and raised in Marbury, Florida. I went to Marbury High School, played at Marbury High School, football and basketball, some track. I'm actually a football guy, really. I ended up getting a scholarship offer to, I think it was like a D3 school or something like that, Concordia College, Selma. So I went out there and played like a year. Things didn't work out, so I transferred to Cookman, finished there. As I was at Cookman, I think it was probably my senior year. So I did my internship at Mainland High School. So I got in a real good relation with Joe Giddens. He's my OG, so he's one of my mentors. He kind of started me with coaching basketball anyway. My focus was trying to get into football. So I did that for a little bit, worked with him. I learned a lot from him. Ended up moving back home to actually get a teaching job here, 10 minutes from my house in my own city. So I'm the PE coach at Mulberry Middle School. Even with that, still wasn't really focused on coaching basketball, I ain't gonna lie. The basketball team in the middle school needed a coach. I knew all the kids. They had to like my kids. So I hopped in just to fill in, be somebody there. And then did that for a couple years. Ended up getting a JV job at Mulberry High School pretty much the kids knowing me and just having a good repertoire around the city and the community. Just been working, had my head down working within that. Whatever I got the opportunity to touch, I just tried to put my best hand forward to it. And here we are today.
Okay, Coach. So both of y'all, I'm going to ask the same question, but kind of a different, I guess, format. Pressure. Coach Cam, you 7th coach in 8 years. Coach Sanders, you the born and raised, everything. You played, you came up through, you lived there now in Mulberry. So from both standpoints, is it pressure, Coach Manning, being the 7th coach in 8 years, and Coach Sanders, is it pressure being homegrown to make sure that you put out a good product when you represent just not Mulberry, but you represent like the city. It's like you. So pressure from both sides. How do you all? Is it any? And if it is, how do you handle it? How do you go about it?
I'll let you go first, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a ton of pressure. I think the biggest thing is the pressure for me was day one walking in the doors when we had our interest meeting. I now have to go in and convince a group of girls that have seen 3 to 4 different faces in the last 3 to 4 years to come out and play for me because I'm different, right? They've gotten the I'm going to be different speech a lot recently. And we all know, we've all been around high school kids long enough. At some point, things just fall dead in their ears, right? And they're just not going to hear it, and they're just not going to listen to it. So there was a lot of pressure for me walking in the door in day one, just making sure that I could convince enough people to even have a team, because a couple of years ago, they didn't even have enough kids to come out. So there was a space there where there was no team. So in that sense, there absolutely was just trying to trying to convince them to give me a chance. And then every day that we've been in the gym, there's a lot of pressure on me to try and get them to see what my vision is for the school and for what we're doing, and convincing them that I want to be here in the long term, and not just telling them that, but showing them in different ways that when we step in the gym, and kind of taking ownership of having to walk that walk first before they start believing what I'm saying.
Okay. Coach Sanders.
Yeah, for sure, man. I would say the pressure just for me, it's more of like an internal type thing. Like being from the city, pressure is on me to just want it to be in a better situation and wanting it to be good. You know what I'm saying? To make some progress. Just seeing it be bad for so long. The sport, not even just basketball, just the sports environment in general. Seeing kids of homeboys and cousins still transfer out just because, you know what I'm saying, that it was better situations wherever, you know what I mean? Like the pressure is just internal, you know what I mean? I wanted to be good. It was someplace that I was at. I experienced some of the bad and I just want to make it better. I think the situation can definitely turn around. I know it'll turn around. I I don't want to say OT is turning that corner right now. Obviously, right? We're gonna take our lumps, but we got our head down. We're gonna go work. So I mean, that's just the focus, just being focused every day, having them come in, and like Coach Manning was talking about, getting them to like really buy into like what you see. Like they got to see it through you. You gotta really show it. You gotta live it. It's not something you just can talk about. Like you just, it's in your walk and you're talking everything. So that's the biggest thing right now.
So, first year coaches, what is the biggest challenge that you've had that nobody told you about?
Go ahead, bro. Be good.
The biggest challenge I've had that nobody told me about was the biggest challenge was convincing, oh man, this might come out bad and I don't mean it that way, so we'll workshop it in real time. It was convincing the school to get behind their girls basketball program. And here's specifically what I mean by that. And that is not a shot towards All Saints at all. What I mean is, and we all go through this as coaches, in the off season, when it's time for a coach to go to bat for their team for needs, right? Balls, warm-ups, gear for next year, if we can do it, all those things. Every time those conversations were about to happen, they were hiring a new coach. So the kids got kicked to the side because nobody was there to go to bat for them for updated gear, updated equipment, just being their voice for them in the off season to make sure that they're paying attention to our program as well as everyone else's. And so I think that was probably the biggest thing that I didn't realize when I walked in the door, is figuring out just how far behind we are in those certain things because there wasn't a voice for those girls.
Okay.
I think for me, it's the patience involved with being like a good or decent coach, but like getting your point across, like to the point of understanding. Like it takes a lot of patience to do that. Like, especially when dealing with kids who aren't really athletically sound, or you know what I mean, like guys who ain't really used to playing. Like other situations, other schools they got guys coming in who've been playing travel or whatever for years. I'm getting a lot of guys to where like practices now are like, it's like you practice. It's like honestly like you guys be practicing with the fifth grade or sixth grade team, working solid fundamentals, just over and over, repetition, and trying to get them to get it. So that's what I would say. To me, like when people that's not like really in the seat, they see one thing and they got a lot of comments or whatever. But like until you really in that seat, in that situation, that's when you really know, oh, okay. So if I'm going to get it to work, I got to move in a certain way. So that's what I would say.
Gotcha. So segue right into the next question. Both of you all taking over. Talk about, if you want to, because some coaches come on here and they're very like cloak and dagger. They're gonna, bust it out on you when you walk in the gym. Some people come on here and they're very forthcoming. So we give you a chance though to speak on your team, like your personnel, your expectations, what's been a surprise for you. What can people in Polk County expect to see from All Saints girls and Mulberry boys this year on the basketball court? You can talk as much as you want to talk about it, or it's less, because, like I said, everybody's different what they want to share at this point in the season.
Gotcha. You want to go first, Coach? Or you want me to?
I'll take this one. I'll go first. All right. I mean, for us, I think the biggest thing is just seeing a lot of progress and growth at the little things, being consistent, having guys consistently in the gym, getting them to focus on the small details of the game. That's in the third. I'm seeing that a lot more than I have like ever before. And the other thing probably would be camaraderie. Like I've had my kids that are playing for me this year. Now, let me back up. We don't have any varsity experience whatsoever. So we are young. We definitely going to take our lumps. But as far as having guys come together and just being like, we going to work together, we going to deal with it, we going to battle, we going to fight together, that's where we at right now. So just, I mean, as far as this, I mean, I'm going to take my lumps right now, but give me a couple years, I'll be up fighting again. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Coach Sanders hit it on his last question, was understanding where everybody is. I'll have 9 kids this year. We may add 1 or 2 more, but right now I've got 9. 3 have never played organized basketball before, and 2 of them are 6th graders. Right. So Coach Sanders, you and I, man, we're going to trade stories all year long for the next few years. I promise. So,
yes, sir.
But I really do get that, and understanding that when you go into the gym, you may spend an hour working with one kid just to understand what a crossover is and how to do it properly. And you have to be willing to love that. And then you got to be willing to run to the other side of the court and work with your 3 seniors on how to operate a trap and how to break out of one. And you have to be able to wear those hats at the same exact time, running back and forth. Because particularly with first-year coaches too, if you don't come in with 2 or 3 assistants, it's an uphill battle, man. You're probably walking in alone, right? And I don't know, Coach Sanders, if you are. I am. I'll have one assistant that's not here yet.
I got a couple.
Yeah. So I'm running back and forth, and we're working on, this is how you cross over, and this is how you shoot, not from your ankles, and kind of powering up like a power boost. And then I got to run across there and teach them how to, this is what a legit hop step or Euro step looks like with a couple other kids. Right. So, kind of understanding how to do that. As far as the team goes though, I'm really excited. I'm getting a lot of talent back from last year that will step into bigger roles, which I'm excited about. I'm bringing back a girl that should have probably got more attention in Polk County last year, but didn't. I'm bringing back a girl that dropped 30 a game last year. Like, she just averaged 30. Sarah Williams. She averaged 30 in basketball. She hit almost 400 in softball, and she led the nation in scoring for lacrosse last year. So that's a nice thing to walk into as a year 1 coach, and I'm not going to take that for granted at all. But I've got her coming back as a senior. I've got a girl named Reagan coming back. They're both seniors. And then I just got a transfer for a couple months ago. Or no, not a couple months ago. I was hired a couple months ago, and about a month later, a girl, Piper, transferred in from Lake Wales. So I'll add a little bit of depth there with a transfer that I did not know about. I showed up day 1, and she was kind of just sitting there. So that's really nice too. So I'll kind of have those 3 to build around, and then a lot of freshmen and sophomores that I'm understanding what they still need to learn from the last few coaches. And it's a lot of, like Coach Sanders said, kind of back to the basic stuff. And this is what we're looking for. And this is why we run this drill. And this is a drill that you're going to need to know. And I'm going to need you to stand here and do this for an hour for repetitions. Or I'm going to need you to shoot 100 shots from 5 feet in just so you can get used to what this looks like instead of this. And it's wearing all those hats, like Coach Sanders was saying. But I'm really excited. I think somebody in the comments asked me where my Polk County public schools were on our schedule. Schedule was made before I got here. I want to play everybody. I do. I want to play everybody. If Kathleen wants to play, if Lakeland wants to play, we're playing Mulberry. If anybody wants to play, I want to put them on the schedule because, 1, it's better when Polk County schools play each other. 2, Nobody really talks about All Saints with Polk County girls basketball, and it's my job to get us in that conversation. It's not anybody else's job but mine. And the way we get into that conversation is to start playing a lot of other teams. And so I want to do that. I want to play every public school in Polk County. We need to take our lumps, like Coach Sanders said. I need to put them in front of those teams so that we can make our run in our districts later on in the year. So I'm not opposed to saying I won't say no to anybody. If the dates match up, I'm not going to say no to anybody.
Okay, Coach. So line it up. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and it's only going to make me better as a year one. I want to get thrown in the fire too. I've been assistant for a lot of years. I feel like I'm ready to make this jump, but I'm not going to know until I get on the sidelines. So, yeah, my kids are going to hop in the fire. I'm going to hop in the fire with them. I'm not going to stand there and watch them. Like, we're all going.
Gotcha. Coach, both of y'all got a couple more and then we'll let you go. You all are both in new districts. Have you had a chance to look at, analyze, think about your district? What's your take on it? I mean, I see you smiling, Coach Sanders. We have to ask the question. You answer them how you feel like answering them. We roll them out and you can swing for the fence. You can butt, however you want to handle it. But new districts, and it took a while for the district to come out, but they out now. So what's your take on your new districts, both of y'all?
A couple pieces in that new district is kind of crazy from my seat. So, but it is what it is. We run up on them, we got to put the fight up. It is what it is. You got to go down swinging. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think a couple of them, I think we're going to kind of shock some folks. But definitely a couple within that district it's a little different. So, just want to prepare as much as we can. I know I got to face my bro Wheelings, I think a couple times. So, learning experience within that. Hopefully I can catch him slipping one day. So we'll see.
Yeah. So just somebody asked who in y'all district? Just so in Mulberry's district is Orlando, Bishop Moore, Discovery, Lake Island Prep, McKeel, Mulberry, and Tenor Rock. So I'm assuming I cannot get an idea how you figure out how a couple of those people got dropped in there. The FHSAA, we don't know how they operate. I don't know the rhyme or reason on that, but so you feel like you kind of got a shot to be right in the middle and kind of shot some folks, because any given night it could swing a certain way. Everybody.
Well, man, we're gonna do what we can, man.
Same way
do what we can.
Yes, sir. Okay, Coach Manny, you want to speak on your district?
Yeah, we got everybody else. This is our round to get reloaded into a new district. And last year, I know we had a much bigger district. Anyways, it was out of the Orlando area. This one's much smaller, just a 4-teamer. And I have had a chance to look at the teams in our district and get a feel for who I think is coming back. I'm excited to be in the same district with a Polk County team. I think we can create a little bit of a nice rivalry there and drum up some fire for that game, which I'm really excited about. We have lofty goals. I talked to the kids that are coming back this year, and they think that if everything goes right, we could make a run at hanging a banner in this year. And that came from them. So I'm feeding off their energy. They want to go win a banner this year. I'm going to do everything in my power to put them in position to do it. So, we're gonna step on the court to win. That's what we're gonna do, and I think we have an opportunity to do that if everything breaks right. If we can stay healthy, if we can continue to learn and operate at the level in which we're learning to operate, and we can start adding more stuff in there. I think by the end of this season, I think we'll be right there with a puncher's chance to go deep.
Okay. Well, Coach, you started last week, Coach Manning, and Coach Sanders, you start tomorrow. So I guess it's a past tense and a future tense type question. Coach Sanders, what is, if you're willing to share, if you're not, we understand, what are at least 2 goals that you have for this week? And Coach Manning, what were 2 goals that you had last week, and did you meet them?
First goal is to positively deal with all the mess I'm about to deal with for tryouts or practice tomorrow, because my kids are in love with Halloween and their families. So I'm going to try my best to positively handle that.
Okay.
That's the first goal. And second, just I think establish the tone of how I want things done within the first. I think our last trial date is Wednesday. And after that, we ride into practice Thursday. So I want to just establish the tone and how I want things done, how I want things ran, which I've done a pretty good job with, I'd say, over the summer. So that's the two biggest things for me. Those are my goals.
Okay.
For me, last week was, we had a couple of open gyms before last week, and Coach Billy, you guys were talking about it. I was sitting in the waiting room, and I was like, you guys knew I was coming on to talk tonight when you were talking about the difference between something being volunteer, but it's really kind of mandatory. And this program doesn't have that vision yet. They're not built that way, right? Because again, every time a coach should be there to start drilling that stuff in, they're hiring a new coach. So for me, it was just kind of seeing how they operated as a whole. And right now, volunteer means volunteer. Volunteer open gym very much means volunteer open gym right now. It doesn't mean what it's going to mean in the later, in years to come. So for me, it was just kind of getting a feel for the temperature. But the biggest thing, and Coach Sanders is dead on with what he was talking about, is coming in week one and getting the kids to understand me as fast as I can. And that comes with explaining why we're doing drills and why I'm saying what I'm saying. And that's me being in the gym before everybody gets there and leaving the gym late. I don't want these kids to think that they're about to get coached by a guy that's going to show up 25 minutes late or leave 20 minutes early to cut practice, for this, that, and the other. I have to make sure that I have a high standard for myself because the team's going to feed off that. So week one was letting the kids get a feel for who I am and how I operate in the gym and let them understand kind of what I'm trying to set the tone for. And then understand where everybody is across the board from a basketball physical level and a basketball IQ level. And I think we were able to do that pretty well last week. And this week is implementation week. So pray for your boy. Because we're gonna be on a whiteboard with notebooks and we're gonna be doing a lot of implementation this week. So our first game's November 15th, so we don't have a lot of time left.
Okay. All right, well, coaches, we appreciate both of y'all giving us some of your time and give us a little bit of preview to All Saints girls and Mulberry boys. Before we let you go, we want to give you both a chance to kind of finalize anything that you want folks to know about your team. Like you said, you already talked about your tip-off classic, Coach Cam. You want to let everybody know when you ought to be up so people can come check you out. I know we posted your schedule today, Coach, and Coach Sanders, we'll post it. You seen it, we'll post it if you want us to post it. And I have to say that, Coach, because everybody doesn't. You'll be surprised. Everybody don't want you posting this stuff. So we try to be respectful of people that won't okay with it, and also be respectful of people that don't want us. So anyway, give y'all the last chance to kind of end with anything that you want to talk about that you hadn't spoken on yet.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this one, Coach. First, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I really want to give you guys your flowers because you deserve them every time somebody comes on. I've been following you guys for as many years as you've been doing this, and I think that you are, without a doubt, the best shining light for Polk basketball in the county, and that includes that a newspaper may or may not exist in the city. I'm not really sure, and they may or may not talk about sports. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if they do or not, but you guys are definitely the best version of Polk hoops that exists in this county, and I just appreciate you guys and appreciate what you do. And I know you guys talk about that you need to work. I know you're always saying, Coach, we need to work on covering girls basketball more, and we need more information for the girls basketball because we can't cover what we don't know. And that's why I hit up your inbox a lot with just information that I can give you. I'm going to give you all the information I can give from my team and what we're doing, and hopefully that will help with some of the other coaches doing the same thing, because the more we all are talking about each other in the county and what we're doing in here, the better the county is for it. And you all started this you all started this movement a few years ago, and so you guys deserve your flowers for what you do, because you don't have to do this. So I want, I just want to say that I appreciate what you guys are doing for the county.
We appreciate that, Coach.
So, but I just want to say I'm excited to be in the county. I'm excited to help. I'm excited to be a new face. Not a lot of people know me. I want to meet everybody. I want to meet the coaches. I know, Coach Fitz talks about it. Coach Griff talks about it. There are coaching chains and text message groups that coaches are in, and I want to be a part of that. And it's not a handout thing. I want to show that I'm good enough to belong in there and to get time from the Griffs and the Fitzes and the Lawsons and those and you all and those guys and start championing the first year coaches. Me, Bartow, Mulberry, Santa Fe, all first year coaches. And I want us to be able to kind of champion each other and push each other forward, because if we push each other, the county only gets better, and the goal should be for the county to be as good as the teams get. And so I'm super excited for it. I'm excited to be here. I'm gonna keep bugging you guys with stuff. I already told you guys I've got 3 tickets waiting on Polk Hoops for any home game you guys want to come to. I got you. You guys, I can even squeeze you in front row. I'll get you courtside seats too. I'm pretty sure I got pulled for that. So, but yeah, we're gonna, we're excited, man. We start the 15th. The first week of the season, we play 3 games. We play Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, the first week. So we are out of the cannon quick, fast, and in a hurry. But come out and come support us and just come see what we're doing. And like Coach Sanders says, what we're trying to build. And it's a long-term thing. And we're going to build it. And we're going to get there, and we're going to take our lumps along the way. And we're going to look back and go, boy, why did I do that in year 1? And because everybody has those stories. And I heard a really good quote that a coach say, and this is just for me and for something else and something that I try and preach to the kids. And he was going over a drill with a kid, and the kid wasn't getting it right. And he turned around and told the kid, and this goes back to what you said about what I'm trying to implement, is the guy said, just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you are a mistake. And I feel like in today's climate with high school athletes, they get yelled at by these coaches that because they did a drill wrong or a thing in a drill wrong, these coaches take their heads off like they are a mistake. And that's one of the things I've been preaching to my kids is make the mistakes. Just make them. You're going to make them. You're human. You're not going to be perfect. The only thing that ever walked this earth that was perfect died on the cross, and none of us are doing that anytime soon. So make those mistakes. Get it out of your system, because that's how you're going to learn. And so I found that quote. I don't know if anybody else has heard it, but I'll give it to you guys if you haven't yet. And it's, just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you are a mistake. And I think we should continue preaching that to our kids as they continue to learn and grow with things.
I like that, Coach. I like that a lot. Coach Sanders?
Yeah, like Coach Manning was saying, appreciate y'all guys. Thank y'all guys for what y'all do, because y'all don't have to. And everybody who's saying something about what y'all do probably would not take the time to do what y'all are doing. So God bless y'all for that. And then, just for the team, man, aspect, I'm just ready to get to it. Ready to get the guys and go and fight. I think our first preseason classic is on the 15th as well. We're doing one versus Excel Christian, and we're doing one on Thursday versus Vanguard. So we'll go against Coach Modem. I've been talking to him lately too, so good luck to him too with his first year. And that's it, man. We're just ready to go get it. Let's get to work.
Well, Coach Cam, Coach Malcolm, we appreciate y'all spending a little time in the Man Cave. Absolutely. Best of luck to you all this year. Those young men and young ladies are in great hands. We appreciate all the work that y'all doing for Polk County basketball, and anything that we can do to help you at Polk Hoops. We just a inbox or a message away. We respond, and like you say, we just here to try to help the kids, try to promote the teams in the program. So thank y'all for being a part of it. Thank y'all for hanging out with us a little bit, and good luck this year.
Thank you.
Good luck. God bless. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. God bless you guys too.
Yes, sir. All right. So, Coach, I read this. Appreciate both coaches. I know being a first-year coach. I know it's a long time since you've been a first-year coach, but and I know things have changed. Times have changed. I know my first year at Jenkins, I I had the pleasure, I guess, for 3 years of working up under Coach Meyer. But then, when you become the head guy, I don't care how much, I don't care how legendary somebody you've worked with, when it's you, when you're the guy, it's always a transition. So wish both of those guys well. They definitely had a passion for it. And so I think both those programs should be in good hands. Coach, I saw this quote. Clemson head coach made this coach the other day. And we talk on this stage all the time about us with our toughness. That's our advantage to other people. Other people might be more skilled than us, but we always kind of brag on our talent. But I read this quote, and I thought this was interesting. I figured I'd ask you and the PG, but he's not here, so we'll ask you because you connected to it also. This is what he said. He said, toughness, and I don't know if you may have saw this, Coach, but I'm going to just read it anyway. Toughness is a talent. He says, sometimes as coaches, we love athleticism, we love shooting, we love passing, we love skill. But it's getting more and more difficult to find kids that are just unbelievably competitive and just play every possession without fear. It's hard to find kids who will leave the last possession, if it was a bad one, alone. That's how we're still growing as a team. I don't think I ever heard a coach describe toughness as a talent. And I'm sure somebody has. I just never heard it. But what's your take on that comment or that quote from Coach Brownlee at Clemson? Brownell at Clemson. You muted, Coach.
My bad, Coach. I agree with that. That pretty much describes most of the teams that I had. The first person that comes to mind is Russell Wilson. He wasn't the most skilled. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the biggest. But he was the toughest, son of a gun that was out there. And he was a difference maker. And my thing is, I can develop that talent as a coach by creating that culture in practice, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We prided ourselves in creating a tough practice culture where it was very competitive. And I think some of our best games were in practice. And we talk about that all the time, man, Coach Hayes. So I agree with that 100%, that it is a talent. And it's a difference maker, just as having one of those skills like shooting or being a great ball handler. So having a lot of toughness, I think it'll help push you through some of those tough situations. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that quote.
Okay. I had never heard that. And, we talk about it all the time. We talk about toughness all the time. And sometimes, and maybe it's me, I'm not speaking for you or the PG, but sometimes I think I almost may come across like it's a disadvantage to us outside of the county. Inside the county is fine because we beat each other up. We play the same way. But if you end up in the playoffs on the road and you get a different, official association who not used to officiating how we play, that toughness becomes I don't know if negative is the right word, but it's like they're not used to officiating how we play. And so I know I've said that in past, but listening to Coach Brownwell is like, it's a talent, but everybody, I guess, maybe can't recognize the talent because they're not exposed to it. Like, like our officials in Lake Region, they're exposed to it every night.
Coach, I say let's not confuse toughness with being physical, because I think totally different things.
Okay.
If you didn't notice my teams, like early, we were tough and physical, and for a disadvantage, we used to put people on the free throw line a lot. But if you notice, as I grew as a coach, and and watching my teams playing defense, if you notice that we got better at playing defense without fouling, especially with my boys' team those last years. And if you look at my girls' teams now, you know what I'm saying, we play defense without fouling. So I taught them, you know, we came up with a way with still being tough, still making it tough for you to bring the ball up the court, still making it, we challenging everything, but it's a way to do that without, you know, the physicality of, you know, making an advantage by fouling. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. Some officiating associations is not used to that. And I think they anticipate a lot. But there is a way to still be tough and, you know, and play defense the right way and not be like it's a physical advantage. So
Gotcha. Okay, I got one more for you, Coach, and then we're gonna jump off. And that goes right along with what you're saying with practice. I heard this today from Don Staley, South Carolina girls head coach. And essentially what she said is, she said a couple things. Essentially what she said was, she said she doesn't want to watch you practice bad basketball. And we have said on this show, you and Tuma have been a lot more direct with it. That there is some good basketball that's played in Polk County, and then there is some bad basketball that's played in Polk County. If the basketball is bad on game night, is it safe to assume that it was bad before the referee threw the ball up? And if so, do you just not recognize bad basketball? Is it that's just the best that you got? What is it? Because you can't, and maybe it is. Maybe it's great in practice and then you throw it up and stuff go left. But I would have to think if I don't know. I could be reaching. I ain't been in, like I said, I ain't been in the gym and I ain't been in a practice in some years. But you practice how you play. That's the old adage. So if you playing bad on game night, it's probably safe to say that you probably practice bad at some point, right? So
yeah, I agree.
And I'll be quiet and let you speak on it, but like,
Coach, it go twofold.
okay.
I agree. You if you're doing it in practice, it's gonna come out on game night. You know what I'm saying? It's what you tolerate, and that's why when I speak to young coaches, they talk to me all the time on the football field and on the basketball court, and I always preach to them about coaching up the little things. You know, not letting those little things slide because they show up big in the game. You know what I'm saying? So if you let these little things slide in practice, like being late or they not touching the line, you know, those going to show up big in the game. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I've seen a coach and myself, we drill something over and over and over again. You stop, you teach, you show them, you know what I'm saying? You give examples, you model it. And then when you get out there in front of those people with them lights on and the people in the stands, and they do the total opposite of what you've been teaching all week. And I see that one time with my travel ball team, we always preached about not helping off the near corner because as you get the drive, near corner drops in and try to help, they kick it out to the near corner for the three. So we want to try to eliminate the near corner three. We preached that all week, coach. Preached it all week. We get into a game, kid red hot from the other side. He done hit like 6 threes already. It's the first half, coach. Jeez. And kid drives. That particular kid is in the near corner. And my player has the highest IQ on the team. What does he do? He collapsed the help, kick to the near corner, kid hits the three. I immediately call timeout. You got to correct that like right now. You know what I'm saying? If you continue to allow those things, it's just going to get bigger and bigger as the season goes on, as the games goes on, and as the season goes on. You gotta nip those things in the bud like right away. You have to. If you don't, it's just gonna continue to grow. Because my thing is, especially in Polk County, I have a problem with bad shot selection. And I see bad shot selection, and coaches don't say anything about it. They don't address it, like whatsoever. They just act like it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So if that kid doesn't know it's a bad shot, guess what they're gonna keep doing?
Shooting it.
Continue to take those. So it's crazy.
So it may not be that the bad basketball was practiced. It's just the application was bad. It was a bad application from the practice to the game. And so when that happens, then you say you got to check it right then and not allow it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we saying that they probably wasn't in practice playing bad. It just happened when you turn the lights on. And
I say it's both. You know what I'm saying? It happens in that way that you just described, but it also happens because coaches allow that in practice. So when they get in the game, you're gonna practice like you play. I just got onto the girls the other day because my teams, we play fast. We play at a high level. They're going through the motions in our warm-up drill. And I was like, you can't practice that way because when we get in the game and we're playing at full speed, like those passes are going to be off. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be used to playing at that speed because you're not practicing at that speed. So it's something you got to preach it, especially early. You know what I'm saying? You got to drill it the way you want to in the game.
So if you had to give a percentage, and I'll be done, if you had to give a percentage of how much bad basketball on game night was bad basketball in practice?
I say that's pretty high, Coach. I would say it'd be between 80 and 90%.
So most bad basketball we seeing in game happened in practice.
It's happening in practice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fortunate enough to actually see people practice. And then there's a difference between the way people set the tone in practice. Some people are real lax, and some people they're a stickler for the little things, and they coach it up. And you can tell by how those teams play in the game. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, it's a high percentage. If they're doing it in the game, it's like 80-90% because they're doing it in practice.
That's my take, Coach. I'm just saying some of that stuff has to be. You ain't just came out there on game night and just start jacking bad shots. Like you said, you jacking bad shots because that's been kind of loud. You ain't, like you say, helping from giving up near corner just because that's what you're doing. You've done that. I especially at this level, because the habits, you're not able to, and I could be wrong on this, you're not able to turn them off and on like that at this level. Whatever you're doing on game night, you've done before. You ain't just woke up, man, I'm gonna do this tonight, man. This Winter Haven, we got late wells. Yeah, I'm gonna. No, you've been doing that. Anyway, I don't know about no coaches mad, but I just saw them two things, man. We trying to help. It's basketball season, so we talk basketball on here, and we feel like we kind of know a little bit about basketball. So it's not, it's not negative. We're not talking down. We're not specifying no programs or no team. We're just talking in general because we believe in the whole iron sharpens iron. So if you can get something out of the conversation that you can apply to your team, then do so. And if you think it all trash, like a lot of people think all the stuff we say is trash, then put it in the trash. But at least it's out there, At least we doing our part. We're doing what we've been called and led to do by having the conversation and present it out there. So Coach, you 1 weekend, so you got the new week going. And I know you was very quiet last week, and so if you're still quiet again, that's fine. I'm always give you a chance to speak on it, and you speak on it, you can. If not, Is there any goals for this week? Or is it just kind of more the same of what you kind of got? Because I know last week some of it was trials, and so now this week is officially, you officially locked in, and you can do what you normally would do.
Well, Coach, this week, especially for me, is setting that LBD culture for our new faces. I didn't realize how many young kids that we actually had, and we actually got some new faces in also. But I think we have 3 of the top freshmen in the county, and they coming in and they're working very hard, and they're very, very talented. We was able to get a couple of transfers, one from Tenor Rock and one from Winter Haven Christian, that's going to help us. But because we haven't had them, they don't really know the culture yet. You know what I'm saying? They're learning that. They're learning that the expectations are high. But the great thing is that we got a great group this year. They're young. They're working hard. They're willing to learn. So it's just to get them accustomed to our expectations and the culture at Winter Haven. So that's my main goal for our week.
Okay, so this will be a big week for you because you're setting the foundation for how it's going to look all season, essentially.
Yeah. Yes, and we come out in preseason. We're not hiding them. We play St. Pete Lakewood on Monday because of circumstance. We had to change it from Tuesday, but so they're gonna get thrown in the fire early, and I'm curious to see how those young kids, react on the varsity level. Relying on freshmen, on 3 freshmen. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be big. So
y'all at Lakewood home or y'all in St. Pete?
We in St. Pete.
Okay. So that'll be a real good test for them. Real good test early. So you ain't running for nobody.
No,
but y'all don't never run for nobody anyway. So that ain't never been y'all thing anyway. So, well, Coach, before we go, I mean, first of all, I think we had one kid. LJ got an offer from Florida Gulf Coast this week. So shout out to Coach. Shout out to LJ. And we also learned that Coach Chad Jones took over at Oasis. So as the head ball coach. So congrats to Coach Jones. And gonna have to try to get you in the cave too, I guess, at some point and talk about things. I guess if we'd have known that, we could have asked you to come in with the other new coach, Nubis, today. Want to announce this weekend in Polk County. Oh, that's girls. I'm sorry, girls. My bad, Coach D. Don't get me. Coach Jones is the new girls coach at Oasis. That shit. Check me, coach. Get me right. Keep me right. But this is college basketball this weekend in Polk County. But we're gonna always show love because it's one of our own. That's one of his teams coming down. Coach Jay Frog, Coach Jeremiah Summer-Rippers, bringing his Lincoln Memorial team down to the Florida Southern preseason shootout. And so on Saturday, Lincoln Memorial plays Valdosta State at 3:30 at Florida Southern. Florida Southern plays Flagler at 5:45 p.m. It's a couple good games. It's like the first game starts at 11 a.m. and they're there all day until 8 p.m. And then on Sunday, Lincoln Memorial plays 11 a.m. They play the matinee game. They play Alabama Huntsville. Florida Southern plays West Texas A&M at 5:45. So shout out to Coach Jay Frog. We'll always make sure we show love, especially if he come back to the county. So he bringing his team down on Saturday and Sunday over at Florida Southern for the preseason classic. So if y'all got a chance to jump out there, check them out. Feel free to do so. Tomorrow we know is Halloween. So for any students that partake in that holiday, please be safe. Please be safe. There's so much stuff going on nowadays. You all be safe. Want to make sure you leave your house and come back to your house because that is extremely overrated nowadays. So have fun, be safe, but make yourself back home. And I know, Coach, I heard that Coach, was that Coach Manning? No, that was Coach Sanders that was talking about he didn't know how tomorrow was going to be because it's Halloween. I saw your face, Coach, like You can't even relate to us. You tried to hide your face, coach, but I saw it, but I didn't react because I didn't want to. I didn't want to throw Sanders off.
I'm gonna be in the gym, and they know that. I don't care. They're gonna be in the gym.
Oh man! So yeah, when Coach Sanders said that, man, he about to have his kids because it's Halloween. I'm just like,
so you can talk to my kid because we have practice Thanksgiving, we have practice on Christmas, Coach. You know what I'm saying? We in the gym.
Coach, I just like I keep saying, it's been a while since I've been in the gym on the bench. So I guess things have changed, but I heard Coach say that, but that's his reality though, Coach. So you gotta respect his reality. But
right.
At the same time, you're like, man, I can't relate. I understand, but I can't relate. And my heart goes out to him that on the first day, as the first year his coach, he got to worry about potentially who gonna show up because they got trick or treating, you know. But anywho, to you all that are participating in the trick or treating, please make sure that y'all be safe, man. And boys, that's getting started tomorrow officially. Want to say good luck to everybody. Hopefully everybody starts strong, stays healthy, and very successful on the court. We know that, success is defined differently by different teams, but y'all up next tomorrow. Girls was up next last week. And so we are officially in basketball season. We'll do our next 5 teams this week. We'll do 20 through 16. We did 25 through 21 last week. And we'll start the players rankings as well overall. Well, I don't know, we may wait on the overall player ranking stuff. But Coach, know what you got? Anything else you got before we take it out? For y'all that the other co-host, he was coming back home. He was out of town for the weekend doing work stuff. So we tried to hold it together for him. Know that sometimes it's a big loss when we don't have the PG or the coach on. So we tried to make it work. But he'll be back with us next week, though. Anything you got, Coach, before we jump off?
Man, Coach, I really want to emphasize on acts of kindness for someone else. Whatever you guys can do to make someone else day, week, year better. You know what I'm saying? That you never know what people are going through physically or mentally. That might help lift their spirits, get them over the hump. It's tough. It's real tough out here. You know what I'm saying? And especially as men, we don't like talking about it. So I'm all about, trying to reach out and just trying to help, my fellow man, my fellow sister, my fellow brother, and just trying to help them be a positive light in their lives.
Exactly. You just never, Coach. You just never know what folks going through, folks dealing with, and you just gotta stay in prayer. We don't push prayer and all that stuff on the show, but obviously all 3 of us know the Lord. We love the Lord. We know we wouldn't be here without prayer, and so that's whole part of why we are still here with this show, because that's God just continue to show favor, and that's as long as He show favor, we're gonna keep doing it. Amid the criticism, the y'all trash, y'all don't know what y'all doing, what y'all talking about. 4 years later, we still gonna show up and we gonna still support the kids in the programs because that's what we've been called to do. You hit around the head with that, Coach, and yeah, Coach Shake, man, we just it goes without saying that we just keep Lake Region in prayer. We keep JJ in prayer. We keep the whole family, man. It's so tragic. It's just crazy, man. My son, some of y'all that know my son played football up in Pittsburgh, and he had one of his teammates that unfortunately passed away last weekend, and he taking it pretty hard. He played yesterday in honor of him. But it's like it's the second one of his high school teammates that's passed away. And there's no child. I mean, he's 20, but he's still a child. No child should have to deal with that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, we keeping Lake Region in prayer, Coach. Coach Shea, our hearts go out to you, sir. We've been giving you space. By now we would have offered, for you to come on the show and chop it up with us, but out of respect, we kind of giving you your space and time. Whenever you're ready to tap in, you let us know. Always open invitation on the show, but keep Lake Region in prayer. Keep JJ and his family in prayer, family, friends, teammates, coaches. Just Lord, I just keep them in prayer. Polk Hoops, we got you. Whatever we can help you with, Coach. We always got you on that. So, but it's for real tomorrow for the boys, and it's been real for a week for the girls. So we are excited for the new season. It's finally here. Congrats to everybody in the gym with the players that you got. I know some teams are going to be a while before they get their players because playoffs about to start up for football. But great excitement and good luck to you all as you continue to push forward for the season.
Coach, before you go.
Yes, sir.
Georgia, Tennessee.
Georgia, Tennessee. Woo. Where is it at?
No, that's a good question. Let me look right quick.
I'm gonna say whoever the home team is, that's who I got. Tennessee and all black last night. That wasn't even fair.
It's in Athens.
If it's in Athens, and I got Georgia, I got the home team.
They number 1 and number 2, Coach.
Yeah. Coach, that's when the last time have you had that one in the regular season? When has it been the last time in a regular season 1-2 game? So Alabama and Georgia don't play in the regular season, so no, they do. Yeah, they do. They play early, but 1-2, Coach. It's just home. I like Georgia. Big G, big Cuz, we count them down one by one. So we go from 25 to 1. So we ain't got to the top 10 yet for the basketball. We did 25 through 21 last week. We'll do 20 through 16 this week. Do one a day. Try to make sure everybody get their own day, to kind of spotlight. So we don't want to take away anybody's spotlight. So we're doing one a day that way out of respect. But since it's home, I like Georgia, Coach. Although Georgia ain't been playing well, but they tough at home. That's gonna be a heavyweight fight, that boy.
They are tough at home. I think the defense is gonna be the difference. I like Georgia defense over Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah. I
love the matchup. This is gonna make an interesting end to the college football. Because if Tennessee or Georgia end up with one loss, if Alabama wins out, they get in.
Because we talked about this in another text group. A guy asked the question, one of my former players, what's the probability that all 4 of those teams are SEC schools?
No, one Big Ten school getting in. One Big Ten school is getting in.
But if they play in the regular season, right? Ohio State and Michigan, right?
Yes.
And then, so let's say whoever wins that goes to the championship game and lose. They both could conceivably drop to 5, right? 5 or 6, right?
They could. But it looked like Illinois is coming out of the other side. I don't see that.
Yeah, neither. So they should lose, but we were just talking because, like you said, Alabama are gonna have one loss. Whoever will lose out of Georgia, Tennessee gonna have one loss. Then the other one will win the championship.
The best 4 teams would be whoever win the Michigan, Ohio State game, and those 3 SEC schools.
So you got 3 of the 4 being SEC, but one more won't get in there.
I say those are the best teams. But
Okay.
the thing is, if Clemson end up undefeated, they're gonna get in too.
Clemson just been winning, but they haven't been impressive, but they ain't lost. So you can't take them out because they ain't lost.
They haven't lost. So I hope they do lose because I think the 3 best schools are in the SEC, and whoever the winner of the Michigan Ohio State game. So
that'll be the 4.
That's who should be there. That's where you're gonna get the best competition from.
That might be the most competitive one because every year one get in there that's ain't got no business in there. So if those 4 make it, you can legitimately say that's how it should look. 4 heavyweights going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see in the comments, Ambo think same thing you think, and Coach Jameson, he got Clemson in there. I just don't think Clemson is on that level this year. I mean, they winning, so you can't remove them because they winning. I just don't. They're not dominant like they have been, but they, like I said, they hadn't lost, so you can't do anything about them if they ain't win. I mean, they ain't lost, and they ain't gonna lose. They gonna be undefeated. Who gonna beat them?
Exactly. I don't think nobody gonna beat them. Not in the ACC.
Yeah, not in the ACC.
They don't beat who they needed to beat.
And the chance that they had would, but yeah, I think Clemson. I don't think they should be in that top 4, but I think they're gonna end up in there because they're not gonna lose. They're just gonna be hanging around. And they just gonna slip in. They'll be the 4 team, and they'll get blasted by who number 1 is. But I think they'll end up there at the end. So, but yeah, Coach, that's a just right on Sunday night. I'm saying the home team, but Tennessee tough though. That's gonna be
they are
that's gonna be heavyweight.
Start with that.
Say again.
I said their coach has done a great job with those kids.
Oh man, he done and this is first year, right? No, second.
I think it might be a second.
Second year, yeah. He ain't very impressive. So yeah, I think I'm but yeah, Georgia at home is gonna be tough though. So that's gonna be a nice one though. So,
shout out to Kamani coming to the U. We need you.
I knew that was coming.
We need you. But he can start Saturday.
Coach, he can get off the plane, get out the car, and log up right now, Coach.
Right now, Coach.
I thought just before we get up, I thought he made the best choice of those 3 as far as early playing time. And I don't have no dog in the race with either one of them, but you just look at who the other people got. Either they're coming in. I think he can go right in Miami and he can start, like you say, day 1. So I think from a playing time standpoint, sometimes them kids, I just feel like they make the wrong decision off of whatever reason. But if you look at the way these jitterbugs set up, they ain't trying to go sit. They trying to go play. And I think out of them 3, I think Miami got the best shot for him to step right in and start and make an impact. So, So congrats to Kamani on finally making this decision. I think that's all of them. No, that's all the Lakeland kids, but I think Rose still got to choose. After I think all the rest of them already made a decision. So, all right, man. Well, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Appreciate Coach Manning and Coach Sanders giving us a little bit of their time. And good luck to everybody this week as you get started. Another season is upon us. Coach, good luck this week in embedding the LBD way of doing things with your new people, with your new ladies. And till next time, everybody, y'all be safe, man. Polk Hoops, we out. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Be safe.